I basically just had a 2-hour-long crash out on Blue Sky, and as I would have said when my kids were younger, I got my feelings out over there, and now I am ready to have a calm and measured discussion about the Democrats' disastrous decision to completely capitulate and cave and the government shut down. And also, yes, I am having an autoimmune flare. I know I'll get comments. I'm aware. So as you may know, in a move that really shouldn't have surprised any of us, 7 Democrats and 1 independent, Angus King, who caucuses with the Democrats, all decided to fold like a chair and agreed to reopen the government, to vote with the Republicans to reopen the government. They abandoned every single demand that the Democrats originally had. As my goat Ezra Levin reminded us, the original demands from the Democrats were permanent ACA subsidies, restoring the Medicaid funding, and no more rescissions for Donald Trump. That's a power that they gave him where basically he could just say, yeah, I know Congress allocated this money, but yeah, too bad, I'm moving it over here. Yeah, they dropped the Medicaid funding very, very quickly. They stopped talking about the rescission powers. And then in a move that I called weak sauce and was criticized for, Chuck Schumer offered to cut the ACA subsidy demand back to 1 year on Friday. And then today they completely surrendered. Thank you, by the way, to all of the folks who emailed me and messaged me when you heard that there was going to be a vote tonight and that a number of Democrats were going to be caving. Thank you. I was on it, but I really appreciate the communication. Indivisible chapters from all over the country, Indivisible as a national organization, were also on it. We were all pressing people to call your senators and to tell them to hold the line, not to cave. I said in a video yesterday that House Democrats they're united about the fact that this is a terrible deal and that Democrats needed to hold the line. My congresswoman in a town hall yesterday said that House Democrats were worried that there were a handful of senators who are going to be folding. And she was absolutely right. And I want you to understand, it is by design that this vote happened late on a Sunday night. So all of us were calling and emailing frantically all afternoon, and those offices were all closed. Because it's Sunday, right? So then it can be like, oh, we'll check messages on the next work day, but we'll go ahead and throw all y'all under the bus on Sunday and pretend like, oh, we just didn't know or whatever. That's intentional. To have that vote on a Sunday night is intentional. So here are the 8 senators that folded and betrayed all of us. Cortez Masto, Durbin, Fetterman, Hassan, Kane, King, who is an independent, Rosen, and of course, Jeanne Shaheen. You may notice 2 of those senators are going to be retiring at the end of the year. Before I get into the who voted yes and who voted no and why that really, really matters in this moment, and also what we're going to be doing next, I just want to make it really clear exactly what the Democrats conceded to. Keep in mind, coming off an election, like a blue fucking tidal wave election this week. We are in a position of power. I think I posted on Blue Sky while I was like flaming pissed. I was like, we had them on the ropes. We had them on the fucking ropes, and y'all just gave it all up. Democrats were operating from a position of power. Republicans are scared shitless after this election. That's why I was so mad when Chuck Schumer went and made this paltry offer of like, oh, let's do a 1-year extension, and then like maybe we can form a bipartisan committee to investigate affordable health care. I'm not here to be like, I told you so, but when I said that Chuck Schumer coming in with that incredible lowball offer that was below the minimum that Democrats said they would ever accept, he threw away every bit of leverage that the Democrats had. You don't open with below your minimum that you will accept. I think I said on Blue Sky, right? Like the bar was up here and Chuck Schumer like sunk it into the asthenosphere, right? It was so fucking low that this was never going to turn out well after that. Even though people were trying to tell me, no, it was 5D chess. You just don't understand. It was a genius move. It was a power play. Yeah, how powerful are the Democrats tonight? Republicans got everything they wanted. Democrats tonight, their offer was a vote sometime in December to consider whether or not they would extend the ADA subsidies 1 year. That vote would require 60 votes to pass. And Democrats don't fucking have it. They don't have it. So it's completely meaningless. ADA subsidies are now fucking gone. Medicaid restoration? No, fucking gone. Democrats gave that all up. 51,000 Americans will be dying every single year because Democrats and Angus King caved tonight. Let's be really clear about that. failing to restore Medicaid funds, failing to get ACA subsidies. Do you know how many people are no longer going to be able to afford to have health insurance at all because of this move tonight? The cost of a lot of people's premiums are going up. They're doubling, they're tripling. Somebody the other day on TikTok said that their premiums, their offer was going up 1,300%. People are just going to go without health insurance. And then there's no Medicaid for people who are uninsured. This is a disaster. I'm not one to be hyperbolic, but I'm also not going to minimize how bad this is. This is bad. And I'm really angry about it because this was all done, so that the airlines could go ahead and make all of their holiday travel money, so that Walmart could get their $2 billion this month from SNAP. This was all done so that the corporate money behind these Democrats would be satisfied. Now, all we are getting out of this is a vote sometime in December. Nothing. We get nothing. I am trying to maintain my calm, y'all, but so many people are going to suffer as a result of this. If you want to see me have an absolute meltdown over it, you can go read all of my posts on Blue Sky, because I was not mincing words over there. Let's talk about the fact that there are these 8 folks who voted yes. And I've seen so many people being like, my senator didn't vote yes. I would encourage you to just pump the brakes on that for a second. Because right after the votes started coming in, I was like, there's some folks that I thought were going to vote yes and stab us all in the back, and they voted no. Once that threshold was hit, right? Oh, enough votes to pass it. Suddenly we see people voting no. And plenty of folks who are far more informed and plugged in than me were posting on Blue Sky like, no, y'all. There's a lot of Democratic senators who wanted this shutdown to be over because the money breathing down their necks wanted this shutdown to be over. They picked 8 people to fall on the sword. I think they had like 10 or so lined up in case a couple of them balked. But this was a done deal that a lot more Democrats, I think, than we realize were in support of. But they voted no. And once again, I find myself in agreement with Ezra. It's important to understand this. There's a reasonable chance that your Dem senator who voted against it and is acting mad now was in on the play. It's the same reason why they scheduled the surrender for after the election week. They didn't want people pissed at Dems right before an election. Right? So plenty of people are saying that this meeting that they had today was really more about deciding who was going to fall on the sword and get as many of the folks on board who are not going to be up for a vote in 2026. Either they're retiring or they're not up for re-election until 2028. We already know that Democrats have an abysmal approval rating. There is no trust between Democratic voters and their elected representatives, especially in the Senate. Whatever tiny little sliver there was has been completely incinerated by this action today. And it's even worse because so many people are like, I can't trust that my senator was going to be a no vote. I can't trust that my senator was opposed to this action. If your senator voted no, I would not be like, mad props, you're amazing, you're the best. I'd be like, oh, okay. Couple ways you can prove to me that you were not actually in support of this. Number one, if this is really just like 8 senators who broke off from the caucus, and this isn't what Chuck Schumer wanted in the first place, then that shows that he's a completely feckless and inept leader who cannot whip his own party to vote as a bloc. And therefore, he needs to be removed from leadership. Alternately, and far more likely, especially given his pathetic offer that he made the other day, Chuck wanted this outcome tonight, but he didn't want to have to vote yes because he knows we're already all pissed at him. Either way, he needs to be removed from leadership. So if your senator voted no, then you tell them the way that you back that up, the way that you help rebuild my trust in you is that you demand that Chuck Schumer step down or you work to remove him from leadership. You publicly state that Chuck Schumer needs to step down. By the way, we are already seeing some House Democrats make this stand. Ro Khanna posted very quickly after this move that Chuck Schumer needs to be replaced. And number 2, demand that the 8 members of your caucus who broke away from leadership and did what you all did not want or claim you do not want are made to face consequences. Are you going to punish them for their behavior? Republicans have no problem punishing their folks when they step out of line. If y'all really didn't want this, what are the consequences for those 8 who betrayed all of us? And lastly, here I've seen former congressional staffers who are saying, if our senators really didn't want this, they can withhold unanimous consent now, gum this up in the Senate for a while longer, and we should be making that demand of them. I don't think that this is over. I don't think we let up. I think it's boots on next time. Senate Democrats have done tremendous damage tonight. They need to be hearing from us immediately.